Rihanna has been a favorite all over the world, and while it's only today that she's known for her makeup and clothing lines, back in the day, she was loved by millions and millions for her music. But what surprises us the most is the fact that even then, the artist had a sense of style. And no, we're not talking about style on the red carpet, we're talking about how fashion sense would be incorporated in her art as well. Today, let's take a deep dive down into RiRi's career and see how Rihanna's aesthetic has changed with each of her albums. These are indications that her development as an artist and a fashion icon are closely intertwined and based on a commitment to eternal reinvention. Let's start with her 2005 album, Music of the Sun. Back in 2005, all of us were wearing skinny jeans and crop tops, right? So obviously, it didn't come off as a shock to the world when RiRi too was boasting the same outfits. Be it promotions, launches, or award shows, we'd see a baby Rihanna wearing jeans and crop tops. But even then, what we'd like to point out today is that her style wasn't just limited to all these. Instead, what our queen was going for was a combination of two very different cultures. By joining American and Caribbean, she would be pairing skinny jeans with gold accessories or glimmer tops. Oftentimes, we've also seen our queen wear some cute skirts with a Caribbean vibe and tie-dye shirt. And then came 2006 with the album A Girl Like Me. With her first album in 2005 turning out to be a hit, there were two groups of people. One group was obsessing over her vocals, while there was another that just didn't think she had it in her to succeed. Now, the latter was, of course, under the impression that she was just a one-hit wonder. But then again, our fierce queen showed to the world all the wonders she held within her, as she turned up at events and awards looking more beautiful than ever. And to top it all off, a majority of her appearances at these events were paired with nominations, which gave her all the edge she needed to prove herself. At these 2006 events, we saw pretty dresses, but it's still crucial to note that her label had a strong hold over her image. Anyway, with all that said, we got to see some stunning performances with saucy onstage outfits that put the claims of a one-hit wonder to bed. But before we continue, are you enjoying this video? Then please give it a like and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me grow my channel so I can bring you the hottest tea every week. Now, time for 2007 with the Good Girl Gone Bad album. 2007 was a time of change for our queen as she ditched the basic brown hair and changed her style up a bit. Now, this was an essential stage in her life, considering the fact that her album was taking us through a lot of different phases. Each number in her album had a different musical context, and it only suited her to change or amp up her style a bit to align it with her art. From outfits that accentuated her figure to long slits, cheetah prints, bodysuits, and fishnets, she just gave us a glimpse into the rebellious side of her personality, and we couldn't get enough of it. Then, 2008. Now, this was a point in her career where the queen just didn't need any introductions. With 2 albums and tons of nominations and awards under her belt, she had all the recognition she needed to not have to prove herself. And of course, with all that sense of self-confidence came a new style of fashion that she embraced to the best of her capabilities. We saw her in sexy attires, from stockings to sleek heels. There was a drastic change in her hairstyle from long locks to shorter and much crisper styles. Finally, it was also at this point that she started wearing many statement pieces with dazzling stones to leather, skin-tight leather, studs, and whatnot. Next was Rated R, the year 2009. In 2009, we got a much sleeker and sophisticated look at Rihanna through her fashion sense. Gone was the bad girl attitude, and instead, she was transitioning into a more feminine yet classy stance. The tones she adapted both in her music as well as her clothing were notably darker than anything she's ever tried before. And of course, all of this came with the biggest control. She finally took hold of the reins and gained full control of her social media accounts. And if you ever heard RiRi clapping back at the haters and other celebs, well, this was the same time that we're referring to. With her accounts in her control, she decided to talk back for all the time that she had been muted. Time for 2010. With 2010 around the corner and with her album Loud, she was showing the world all the multitudes she held within herself. And to do this, the singer wasn't just going to make it basic. No. She decided to ramp up style and show the transition to the new era by many things, such as new hairstyles and another addition to her tattoos. In this duration, the bright signature red hair and her style, along with personality, did a complete 180 degrees. Circa 2011 with Talk That Talk album. And yet, we've got another saucy album B from our queen. Back then, this was quite a scandalous one, as critics even went as far as calling it her dirtiest album yet. Now, with that criticism, you could sense what we're trying to cover next. This next phase in her life was a sexually liberating one. So, understandably, for a lot of people, it was difficult to see that island girl from 2005 or 2006 transitioning into the woman she was in 2011. But things were just looking up for her as she got her Nivea endorsement deal. Now, the reason why we mentioned this deal is the brand at one point got so overwhelmed with her new energy, be it with her art to fashion, that they chose to drop her. See how Rihanna's aesthetic has changed with each of her albums? Indications that her development as an artist and fashion icon are closely intertwined and based on a commitment to eternal reinvention. The Queen took the title quite seriously and shaped her personality to be completely unapologetic as well. This album had the fans on toes, but there were also a couple of people who took one look at her songs and style and decided to bombard her with a plethora of concerned messages. With such a huge change, people couldn't help but wonder if she was in the right emotional space. And it was only then that we became aware of the fact that for her, the Bowed Gal wasn't just a great Instagram username, but also her entire personality. The thing we absolutely adore about this era, and this here specifically, is that this was when she decided to seamlessly weave herself in every situation exactly as you expect from a chameleon. Whether it was being a bad gal or putting on a sophisticated attire for the Grammy Awards, the woman had it all covered. 2013 and the fashion critics. This year was a bit harder on the singer. After years of backlash for showing her personality, the singer tried to bring it down a notch and was met with nothing but disappointment and critics again. Now, let us remind you that this is the same time when people were just generally uncomfortable at how she appeared to be too casual at events. But even then, she was making a statement for herself and her art, as she was never one to abide by the rules. The hiatus in 2014. While it was a bit hush-hush in terms of their career back in 2014, this was the time when she was making a move outside the music industry and taking a break to focus on other domains. She focused on setting trends for others, and believe us when we say that she gained quite a lot of following right when she was on hiatus. From sheer dresses and fur capes to bedazzling head nets, and the look she served at Fashion Week looks, everything was chaotic to the point of shocking. In 2015, we got something new. 2015 gave us a much more vulnerable look at Rihanna and her clothing. Back then, she could easily be covered under the umbrella of crème de la crème. Yet, she wanted to stand out, and to do that, she gave us the fit of offering a deeper glimpse into her life. From the frilly pink dress to the famous yellow dress that had everyone making memes, she was once again back in the news. The changes in 2016. And so, with all those major changes taking place all these years, people were obviously expecting something outrageous from her. And true to her spirit, she decided to take it down a notch. The people of the catchy radio pop genre were used to provocative looks from her, like rolling a joint on her guard's head, but what they got was something much more subtle. The year that showed her move from music. In 2017, the Queen finally decided that it was time to venture out, and she showed us her mad talent outside of the music industry. We got a glimpse at the woman who's ready to conquer new territories. She started her work in the beauty and fashion industries. Her looks in 2017 were sleek and elegant, and those of a woman who started her own clothing line. It was of a businesswoman above anything else. 2018 and the red carpet. Before her ever being on the scene, Rihanna was the most anticipated red carpet arrival. The fact that her 8th record was eventually recognized as such was a pleasant surprise. 2019. And now, this is a period that fans might not love so much because of how little they got from her in terms of music. But while we didn't see anything in that domain, we got a lot from her when it came to Fenty events. 2020 finally showed us a glimpse at the grown-up RiRi, the woman that had gone from Caribbean girl to million-dollar brand name. And if you like this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.